Welcome to the #1 spot health and wellness practitioners go to double their current income and turn their 10-hour work day into a 10-hour work week. Join us as we dive into the tips, tools, and tech you need to create a life and practice on your own terms. More freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and of course, funds. It's time to build your online practice. And I'm your host, Michelle Rogers, also known as the WELLthy Woman. Be sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of education, inspiration, and action. Let's get started. Okay, today in this chat, we are going to be talking about from lab to handheld device, biohacking your metabolism with Lumen. So those of you who know me, I'm all about like biohacking devices and like how we can really optimize health. And like when I heard about Lumen, I was just like, wait, what? Yes. So Mia Johanadige is a public health specialist and a metabolic coach at Lumen with a genuine passion for supporting and empowering people on their journeys to better health and happiness. Mia's specialties include women's health, metabolism, and fitness. So I am so curious, Mia. I have like a general question I've been asking all of the speakers. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, okay?
Okay, go for it. I'm ready.
As an expert in the field, how do you anticipate the online space evolving for health practitioners? And what shifts or trends do you believe are going to shape the industry in the near future?
Wow, what a question. Okay, let me focus on the future vision. I think a lot of us who are working in the field of biohacking, all these gadgets that we've seen out there, especially the team here at Lumen, there's one mission, and I think, and that's the future, is empowering the individual to be able to take control of their health from the comfort of their own home. So kind of looking towards what I like to call preventative medicine. It's all about prevention, and we see the statistics out there, the scary statistics around obesity and prediabetes, to name two of many. And I think that's the shift. And I'm really excited because we're at that time now in the world where we've seen all these interventions, these innovations, these great startups, these great gadgets. And I really think it's going to help us move towards, focusing on prevention rather than, okay, we're sick, we're unhealthy, now let's go to the doctor. So I think the space right now online for health and wellness practitioners is, I think it's exciting. Like you started this call with, we had this amazing talk. It's, we're just buzzing with energy, and we are, right? We're buzzing. The ones that are, those of us who are working in this field, we're just like, it's that time where we're just super excited because we can see the results already. We can see how we're impacting people's lives, and it's just going to take off from here.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. Like I keep telling people, I'm like, we are the early adopters, like practitioners going into the online space now. It's just like, it's about to seriously explode. Like it's been growing for the past couple of years for sure. But I feel like we're just like on the precipice of this like huge expansion in the online space. So yes. So such a good time to be at the summit. Such a good time to be learning about things like Lumen, like so good. And I just want to say Mia's in Israel, right? I always have like a little plug for like, I have a special connection for people who live outside of like North America. Like,
I'm based in Tel Aviv in Israel. Yeah, that's where the Lumen quarters are.
So cool. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, so let's dive into questions. And as you guys, as we're going through this, I know you guys are going to have questions because they're like, this is just such a cool device and such a cool way of interacting with our clients and patients and really optimizing their health. So as questions pop up, just a reminder, please put them in the Q&A so that Mia and I can keep track of all the questions and they don't get lost in the comments. Okay. So why do we need to focus on metabolism?
Wow. Great question. Great. It's a short question and I'm going to give a very long answer, I think.
Please.
So metabolism, wow. Well, first of all, I want to just remind everyone that, we all have a metabolism, right? We all have this subject, this topic that is, until Lumen was founded, wasn't very well understood. Metabolism is something we don't really see. We know it's important. It's basically how we're surviving. So metabolism is basically the processes that are required to, turn the fuel that we're consuming, so food, into energy to meet basic functions, literally enabling us to sustain life. So metabolism is, it's the foundation. It's the driving force behind reaching all our health goals. Because if we are not utilizing the fuel that we're consuming efficiently, then we're not going to be able to see, a healthy weight maintained easily. We're not going to be able to optimize our fitness if that's the goal, or just general health and happiness. To be able to have more energy throughout the day to do everything that we need to do, those basic functions, and more, we need a very efficient metabolism. And so that's why we are focusing on metabolism at Lumen. That's, the goal is to strengthen and improve our metabolism using this device in order to you'll naturally reach those health goals, like maintaining a healthy weight. And let's be honest, we all have pretty much the same goals when it comes to our health. We all want to be a healthy weight. We know the risks associated with being underweight or overweight. We all want more energy to run around after our kids if we've got them, or the dog, or be, have a clearer mind, being able to concentrate better at work, be successful now in our professional life and in our personal life. That is down to how we're feeling, with energy. So basically, that's why we're focusing on metabolism.
Yeah, it's like the foundation of all of our biochemical processes. It's like, how well and efficient is this machine running?
Yeah, and the question I often get after that question, what is metabolism? What is an efficient, a healthy metabolism? What does that look like? And that's someone who's metabolically flexible is someone who has an efficient metabolism. And that is the goal we want to reach using our Lumen device. That is the goal that we'll reach following a tailored nutrition plan, which I'll go into.
Yeah.
Around that, but I'm going to end there. So being metabolically flexible is having a healthy, efficient metabolism.
Yeah. What are the benefits of having that metabolic flexibility? Like what would people experience with that, or what would practitioners, observe for someone who has a flexible metabolism? What is that?
Yeah, great question. So metabolic flexibility is actually a concept and a term that I'm seeing a lot more on social media. It's something that's spoken about a lot more now. It used to be quite new a few years ago, but people are starting to talk about it and write about it. So metabolic flexibility is the body's ability to efficiently switch between using fat stores when needed and tap into carbohydrate stores when required, when they're available. So being able to switch between the two sources of fuel when required. So that is metabolic flexibility. And I think to sort of to kind of answer your question, what are the benefits around that? I think it's good to maybe mention what are the risks of not having it, I think, to start with, because I think we all know what's happening out there. The reality is that, I'll take the US as an example. Almost 40% of the US population are pre-diabetic. And out of those 40%, 80% of those don't even know they're pre-diabetic. So we have a lot of individuals out there who are walking around, in poor health, feeling, like they're losing control of their health. I mean, to be pre-diabetic is serious. The symptoms around that are terrible. I'm not going to go into that, but the obesity rate is increasing, and we're seeing more and more, talk about this diet, that diet, this exercise regime that works, follow this. We're bombarded with all these messages, and we're still seeing increasing rates of obesity and diabetes and heart disease. So to be someone who has, what's the opposite of having metabolic flexibility is having metabolic syndrome, right? So it's the high cholesterol, excessive abdominal fat, blood pressure, high blood pressure. that is someone who is going to struggle to concentrate, right? Is going to struggle, you're going to have brain fog. You're going to have, the main risk is irregular insulin, not being able to control your blood sugar levels. You're going to see those spikes and then those dips in energy. And a lot of individuals have this. So the benefits of being metabolically flexible are the opposite, right? You are able to wake up, feel like you've got enough energy to make the best of your day, right? You're going to start your day with this mindset that's also healthy. Because, the physical, I always have to mention, these are the physical benefits, but they tie in nicely with mental health benefits. We know when we are physically healthy, we're going to be mentally healthy, and vice versa. So being able to regulate our insulin and blood sugar levels during the day, we're going to prevent those drops in energy, right? Which a lot of us see in the afternoon. And what do we do when we're tired and we don't have energy? We're going to reach out for the high carb sugary snacks, which are readily available and are often cheap. And there we go. And then the cycle starts. So someone who's, let's say a typical person who's, maybe been on their Lumen journey, has achieved metabolic flexibility, they're able to go to a birthday party. I'm going to take myself. I'm going to have a birthday party for my son in 2 weeks. He's turning 5. There's going to be a birthday cake. Okay. And I'm going to have a slice. Okay. I'm not going to deny myself having the cake that I've baked. And if I'm lucky, the kids are going to leave me with some leftovers. I might even have more than one slice. I have now a great level of metabolic flexibility. So my body, when I'm eating that cake, which is high carb, it's a high carb, fast absorption carbohydrate, right? I'm going to eat that cake and my body's going to be so efficient at metabolizing it. It's going to know exactly what to do. It's going to utilize it for fuel, and it's going to be less likely to store it as body fat. So basically what we're consuming, we're burning off for fuel and we're not storing it as excessive body fat. And that is the beauty of being metabolically flexible.
Yeah, I think all of us would love that for ourselves and for our clients and patients. Right? Yeah. It's that's such a huge goal for so many of us as practitioners. So can you give us some examples of individuals who've really hacked their metabolism with Lumen, and what did they learn about their bodies and how did they achieve long-term success?
Wow. Yeah. So we have, those of you watching, I highly recommend going onto our Facebook community group. You see the success stories there. And I'm going to probably mention 2 or 3 individuals that I had the opportunity to actually speak to and get to know on their Lumen journey. And their stories, you see similar stories every day on our Facebook community group, online. We were recently featured on Fox News, and so I'm going to mention some examples here. Maria, for example, is a Lumen. I call them Luminers. And in fact, I think some of our Luminers have now called themselves Lumineers, which I feel like is slightly stronger. So she's one of our Lumineers. And Maria started her Lumen journey in 2019. So she's been with us a while. And what's great about her journey, she's been obviously with her Lumen device now over 2 years, and her goals have changed as she's got healthier. And Lumen has continued to be useful in her life at reaching a different goal. So initially, her goal was to lose weight. So she was clinically obese. She is still in, a stressful job as a senior leader in policing, in the policing force in the UK. So high cortisol levels. She was clinically obese, pre-diabetic, severe fatigue, and mental health, I guess, lack of motivation, feeling kind of depressed that every restrictive diet that she had started saw some results, but then plateaued and didn't see any more results after that. Because most of those restrictive diets that we see, it's a one size fits all approach. And how do they know that's going to fit my body? I've got a unique body. Michelle, your body's different to mine. Your metabolism is different to my metabolism. So a diet might work for you, but it might not work for me. So, Maria had tried various diets and was hitting the gym, right? She was doing the high intensity interval training. She was on the spin bike. and still wasn't losing that weight that she needed to. And then found Lumen and started her journey. And what was really, I get goosebumps just thinking about when she's told me this. She noticed with the measurements she was taking, so the device was measuring her metabolic state, right? That's what when we take a breath measurement, it's actually telling us what our metabolism is doing, what fuel are we burning. And she was able to make the small changes initially around her exercise. For example, she noticed the high intensity exercise sessions were actually putting her body into stress mode. So she sort of removed those, actually said, okay, bye-bye to the spinning class, bye-bye to the HIIT, and started just brisk walking. Noticed that her metabolism was actually improving because of the walking now and not the HIIT training. She also started to time her meals differently, started to incorporate a sort of low carb, higher fat breakfast. So switching a sweet breakfast, as she calls it, to a savory breakfast. Making that small change, she saw her weight reduce, just drop the pounds just from those changes. She's now today, over time, she's lost the weight, got back into, getting some medium to high intensity workouts, found that actually her body was favoritizing, the HIIT training at certain times of the day. Again, her Lumen device showed her when to work out, how to fuel for those workouts. And today she's a metabolic coach herself. She's in the best shape of her life. She's in her early 50s, and she's written a book about her journey from complete transformation. But it was a journey that she enjoyed. And I think this is something that a lot of our customers have seen, is that they've started their Lumen journey. And again, they've come from this restrictive dieting background that they hated. And all of a sudden, a lot of them will come to me and go, Mia, I'm just eating so much more and I'm still losing weight. They finding they didn't eat enough protein. They didn't eat enough fat or carbs. And every macro is useful. Our body needs all three macros. And so people were under eating or not eating the right proportion of those macros. So the Lumen device, again, we'll go into it, tailors your nutrition around what your body, what your metabolism actually needs. But there are other success stories. I won't go into too much detail, but, there are health goals. For example, I've got Brian, who's an ultra marathon runner. So he uses Lumen to optimize his runs, and he will use Lumen to kind of work out how to fuel for those runs. And also he does intermittent fasting. So he's used Lumen to identify his ideal window of fasting, not to, because that's also something that should be personalized. We hear the 16-8 window of fasting. Yeah, it could be beneficial for some. It could be really detrimental for others. And the Lumen device, again, if there are questions around this, I can go into it, can actually identify if you are maintaining fat burn, which is what we want to maintain during the fast, or if your body's going to a stress response towards the end of your fast. And then okay, we don't want to break our fast once we've hit that stress response. We want to break it while we're still in fat burn. So for a lot of individuals, they've gone, wow, 16 hours, too long, 14 hours for them. Some have gone, 18 hours that I can do it, but they're checking in with a Lumen device. So he's used it and he's running, again, he's in his 50s, and he is reaching personal bests to this day. And then there's individuals like me and you, we're at a healthy weight. For example, there are a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers in our community that have seen just better energy levels, which they've said they've become better parents. They've got more energy for their kids, which means they've got more patience. They're succeeding in their work because they're able to concentrate better. They're getting promotions. It's a complex, health is complex. Our bodies are super complex. And the beauty with a device that's biohacking your metabolism is that you're able to go, okay, these are the factors that are impacting my body. This is the stress. My body goes into stress response when it's doing this, this, and this. If I incorporate more sleep, wow, that's what it's doing now to my metabolism. If I incorporate these type of carbs at this time of the day, I'm benefiting, I'm going into fat burn. So, it's beautiful, honestly. And I'm blessed that I'm able to hear these stories every day from customers, our lumineers.
So it's so cool. And it's such a reminder, I think, too, for the practitioners in the audience of like, I think sometimes we take for granted like healthy, optimizing health, and we kind of forget that like optimal health affects all of these other facets, like you're saying, showing up better at work, showing up for your family, being able to have energy for your kids, like focusing product, like it literally affects everything. And I think just hearing you reiterate that and like emphasize that again for us is so important to hear. So yeah, thank you. It's so cool. I'm still like side note, I'm still waiting for my Lumen device because the Mexican like customs, they're like, no, you can't have it. So I'm like kind of fighting with them right now to see if I can get it or they can send it back to the States and I can get it there. Anyways, we're figuring it out. I'm waiting for my Lumen device. I cannot wait to get started. I'm so freaking excited. But okay, so can you tell us more about how Lumen personalizes an individual's journey to reaching their goals and what goals can actually be reached?
Yeah, so I think I've covered some of that question around what goals can be reached. Pretty much, this device can be used by everyone. There are certain groups of people that we don't recommend. Obviously, the device, pregnant, nursing mothers, individuals who have diabetes, for example, right now, because they are, first of all, mothers who are, nursing mothers or those who are pregnant. You need more calories. You shouldn't be on any nutrition plan. You should be just feeding that body with healthy food, but we don't recommend the device for them. Basically, anyone who wants to have more energy and feel fabulous and be able to, have a balance. It's about creating balance. We're all for here at Lumen about creating a balance where, we're eating good, healthy food. We're following a nutrition plan that's not restrictive at all. But at the same time, allow ourselves to, enjoy a glass of wine at dinner. Or, like I mentioned, eat the birthday cake that I'm going to spend the whole night baking for my son. Being able to enjoy the things we want to enjoy in moderation. And that's, basically, building up this strong metabolism will enable us to do that. And, the way it does, the way the Lumen does it, I should probably start right at the beginning, how it was actually founded. I always think this is really interesting. A lot of people love hearing this. So Lumen was founded by twin sisters, Michal and Mirav. And at the time they founded this concept about, hacking your metabolism, they were competing in Ironman competitions. So Ironman competitions are like triathlons, but long distances. And they wanted to kind of understand how to fuel their bodies for these immense distances that they were going to race. Because the common, what they see commonly with Ironman competitors is that crash in energy towards the end. And a lot of them don't make it over the finish line. So they wanted to prevent that crash in energy and be able to just feel like they had enough energy from the start to finish. And that was hours of racing, right? I mean, it's just incredible what they did. And so they came up with Lumen, a device that takes the technology that's actually been available since the 1960s. So measuring your metabolism, you can do that in a hospital clinic. Some of you watching might know this big machinery that is available where you sit for 45 minutes. You're dressed up in a suit. It makes you look like an astronaut. And you sit there for 45 minutes. And it's costly. It's expensive. And to be honest with you, you and I, that's not available for us to do. I can't just show up to the hospital and go, hey, can you strap me up and get the suit on me and let's measure my metabolism? No, it's not available. So they wanted to take that technology and put it in a small handheld device so that you and I can sit at home and measure in one breath our metabolism and actually gain metabolic insights in real time. I mean, we think, wow, how did they do this? Well, it was years of trial and error, years of research, a lot of hard work. But here we are today with this device that you take a breath measurement. We're measuring the concentration of carbon dioxide. So when you're utilizing carbohydrates, when you're burning carbohydrates, your body cells are releasing more CO2. And then with fat burn, it's less. So the device, not only does it measure your CO2, but, for example, your device, Michelle, when Mexican border control actually allow you to take the device and start using it, your device is going to, first of all, it's going to hold a lot of clever algorithms. It's going to have also your personal data that you're going to put in. So you're going to put in your age, your height, your weight, the sex, whether your menstrual cycle, you can track in there as well. I can also go into about that. That's a new feature. All these details. And then with these algorithms, it's going to, over time, over the next, few days when you're taking those breath measurements, it's going to calculate your unique CO2 range in carb burn and fat burn. So for example, if I pick up your device and take a sneaky breath measurement using your device, that's going to skew the results because that lumen is going to know Michelle's CO2 range. That's how personal that device becomes. And again, how far we come in this world of biohacking. It's just incredible. And like just speaking about it makes me go, wow, the brains behind this device. So with that breath measurement, there's one measurement we recommend our customers take, and that's the morning measurement. So that's the one where you wake up, still in a fasted state, taking the breath measurement. That's going to tell Lumen, your Lumen device, the metabolic state you're waking up in. So let's say I woke up today, I took my breath measurement, and I'm a level 3. So there's 1 to 5 levels, okay? So level 1 to 2 is fat burn, 3 is fat and carb burn, and 4 and 5 is carb burn. So I've got like this scale where I can see what fuel I'm burning. Why is that important? Well, let's take the example of me this morning, level 3. Ideally, we want to reach fat burn in the morning. So ideally, we want to see that the body has efficiently depleted carb stores during an overnight fast, presuming we're sleeping well, we're not snacking during the night, waking up, and our body has depleted the glycogen and tapped into our fat stores. Great. That's the ideal scenario. I was a level 3. Why was I level 3? Because I went to the movies and I had some popcorn and I might have had a little bit of chocolate and, maybe a beverage with a bit of sugar. But, I treat myself and I had it late at night. So I know my body didn't have it long enough, first of all, to burn off those carbs. And I woke up in a 3. So I could see, okay, I had depleted probably a little bit. I was probably level 5 after those movies, the movie time with all the chocolate that I had. But I was still a level 3. So what do I do here? I'm able to actually decide what breakfast to eat now. Okay, my body still has glycogen. So let's make the breakfast, low to medium carb. Let's aim for maybe some boiled eggs, maybe avocado and toast, whatever you like. But it was a higher fat, high protein breakfast I had instead of oatmeal, which I love. I'll have oatmeal if I'm in fat burn. But this is the way you can see how choosing the right proportion of macros at the right time can actually help us tap into our fat stores when we need to, and then tap into our carb stores when we need to. So with that morning measurement, going back to that, your nutrition plan is updated after you take that morning measurement. So I woke up in a level 3. Like, let's say last week I woke up in a 5 because I had a terrible night's sleep. So I will not, and most Lumineers, they will see that they will not be able to reach fat burn in the morning if they've had less than 6 hours sleep. And we've seen that with the data. Yeah. Sleep impacts your metabolism, and we can now see that with our own Lumen data. So I was a 5. At this point, I'm fatigued. I'm at a level 5, so I've still got glycogen stores, and I know that I need to, watch the carb intake and also the type of carbohydrate. So in this case, it's very important to focus on slow absorption carbs. And with Lumen, the nutrition plan tailored. It was tailored so that I got a low carb day on the day that I woke up in carb burn still. And the nutrition, the recipes, the meal ideas, the foods that we recommend are all based on healthy carbs, healthy fats, and a very good amount of protein, adequate protein. And a lot of our Lumineers, they see a protein recommendation, which is pretty consistent. That's based on your healthy weight. So when you start your Lumen journey, Michelle, your protein might be very different to my protein recommendation, because I'm tall and heavy. So I have a lot more protein that I need to consume compared to, my friend Noah, who's half my size. So even that's tailored to me. And reaching your protein, for example, recommendation, which a lot of people didn't in the past, it's based on you. It's based on your unique body's needs. People have seen, wow, they're able to preserve muscle. They are feeling full for longer because protein helps you feel full. So we've also seen feedback from individuals going, yeah, they're following their nutrition plan, not every day, some of them religiously. It's a recommendation. That's, again, I want to mention, like, Lumen is great. You can just take the measurements and that's enough for you. And that's enough for you to understand what impacts your body, whether it's sleep, whether it's stress, the type of carbohydrates, the timing of your meals. Others will love following the nutrition plan, right? And over time, your Lumen's still learning about you. It's still understanding, okay, Mia, she can fast, this length of time. She's, this is how she's fueling for her body, around exercise. That as well, that's been a game changer for a lot of individuals. Fueling for your exercise sessions. I'll end on that before we open up to questions, but movement and nutrition go hand in hand. And I think anyone on a health journey, it's great. You're eating well, you're following your nutrition plan, you're meeting those macro recommendations, but we know we need to move more. We know we need to get the steps in. And it's, fueling for that, for your movement is crucial, because if you are feeling lethargic, if you are feeling demotivated for your sessions, you're not going to keep up your exercise regime. And just taking that before exercise measurement, which is, there's a list of measurements you can take. So morning, before, after exercise, during fasting, many. Bedtime measurement, for example. So the before exercise measurement I often take as a personal trainer is going to allow me to see, okay, do I have enough glycogen, carb stores for that HIIT training that I'm going to do? Because, ideally for medium to high intensity workouts, we know we need glycogen to fuel for those workouts. A lot of people don't eat before, and then they see their body's going to stress response after. You can actually see, again, with your Lumen, whether or not that workout has been efficient at tapping, helping you tap into your fat stores, if that's a goal. So with the HIIT training with Maria, for example, that I mentioned, she realized that she was in stress response after that HIIT training because her body wasn't healthy enough at the time to do it. Her body was saying, no, it's too hard on my body. Let's wait and let's do the brisk walking. And with the brisk walking, she was able to tap into her fat stores from that. But she only knew this because of the measurements that she was taking with the Lumen. So it's great. Lumen's giving you this first time in our life, this opportunity to, gain an insight into what our metabolism, which used to be invisible, what it's doing now, and it's empowering. It's empowering that individual to, to make those changes. We're programmed, humans, we're programmed the same. Self-validation is crucial for us in order to make the changes that are healthy, right? And also see the impact of the choices we are making already, how that's impacting our health. So, and I love Michal, one of the founders, one of the twin sisters that founded Lumen. She says, it's very hard to change what we can't measure. And Lumen, is now, giving you this opportunity to measure your metabolism, your health. And that's helping so many people understand how to change.
Like, wow, everybody's just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, this is so amazing. Like,
I could go on forever. So I have to really stop myself because I'm so passionate about this device. It is
so, I literally, I'm like in my seat. Like, I want my device. Like, I can't wait. Do you actually have one to show us? Like, no pressure if you don't, but like, do you have like yours? nearby?
I do, but it's the other
somewhere
room,
else.
so.
That's okay. That's totally okay. You guys can check it out. And I know someone was asking if you wouldn't mind posting the Facebook group in the comments. That'd be awesome, Mia, just so people can find that. But are you ready for some audience questions?
Yes, please.
Amazing. So if you guys have questions, definitely pop them in the Q&A now so we can hop into those. I know there's so many questions coming up, which is so fun. So Annette says, so the next question, how do I become metabolically flexible?
Wow, great question. How long have we got? Okay, so how do you become metabolically flexible? So just to kind of summarize some of the points I mentioned during the talk, is first of all, understanding your metabolism. First of all, I think it's I always win in my women's health work that I always go by the 3 A's. So the 3 A's, and I feel like this is a great way to start this answer to this question, is first of all, awareness. Just becoming aware what your body is, what your metabolism is, your health status, what's impacting it, what is your lifestyle, how that's impacting your metabolism. So awareness, and then acceptance, I always say as well, second. And I guess that ties in with the mindset. And that's one of our lifestyle pillars at Lumen. We have 4, actually: nutrition, movement, sleep, and mind. And we've seen all 4 of those lifestyle Lumen pillars really impact metabolism with the data that we've got. And we've got over 35 million breath measurements to date with this device. So we have a lot of data. So those 4 factors really impact your metabolism. So it's becoming aware and accept that, okay, if I lack sleep, this is what's going to happen. If I'm stressed at work, this is how that's impacting me. The way I eat, the way I move. And then the 3rd A is action. Action, okay, this is my unique metabolism. This is my unique body. I've got this opportunity to do something now about it because I've got data, my data, right? With, the Lumen app. So I'm taking my measurement. Okay, it's here. I've got the guidelines, the recommendations that suit my metabolism for the first time in my life. And then follow the nutrition plan. I say this to all the new Luminers who start their journey. Just take those measurements. Just see the first week, first 2 weeks, just see what your current lifestyle is doing. How, the junk food that you might be eating, how's that impacting your metabolism? Just see the data. Okay, I'm not getting into fat burn. I'm overeating on my carbs. There's a food log, right? So log your carbs in, log your protein, log your fat, just to get those insights, that eye opener, like, like I, for example, I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but, I would never struggled with excessive weight gain. But when I started my Lumen journey, I was like, I've got these crashes in energy in the afternoon, and they were terrible. I used to get migraines, couldn't function. But I'm not over consuming on carbohydrates. No, not me. But then I started logging my carbs in, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I am just, wow, look at that carb intake today. I was shocked. And then I was thinking, my protein, I haven't hit even a third of my protein. No wonder I'm hungry all the time. So, then I've got this opportunity, right? Okay, I've got self-validation, which I said was crucial. Follow the nutrition plan, it's not going to feel like a restrictive diet. Thank God, because we hate that. We want to feel full. We want to feel energized. And over time, that nutrition plan is based on your metabolic state, but it's also there promoting metabolic flexibility. So with the algorithms and with your data, it's based on that goal of you reaching metabolic flexibility, and you get a flex score. So you can also track with your app how much more metabolically flexible you're becoming over time. And it's great because you go onto the Facebook community group and people are like posting the screenshot of their flex score today compared to 4 weeks ago, and it's like, wow, and people are like saying that they're feeling the better energy, like I said, the brain's functioning better, they're happier, they're starting to run again, they're hitting the treadmill. So metabolically flexible, how to become that? follow the nutrition plan, get those insights and make those small changes, because they go a long way.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think everybody's here like, okay, I'm ready to get my Lumen device. So Marcel says, cool. What systems do you have for viewing clients' progress with Lumen? Does Lumen collect data and do studies based on regular clients' usage or just research participation? Does Lumen have an affiliate program? Great questions.
Well, yeah, really great questions. Okay, so with the data, so over 35 million breath measurements. We've seen, internally, we've seen some trends, some patterns. So, for example, recently, we noticed from the data that, fasting, the window of fasting. So with women, we noticed that women who are obese, they lose a lot of the benefits of fasting after the 12-hour point. So if they extend their fast after 12 hours, a lot of them lose that benefit and actually go back into carb burn. And I mentioned we want to stay in fat burn during the fast. So a lot of them actually tap into their carbs after 12 hours. Overweight women, so not obese, but overweight, it's 14 hours. And then after that, a lot of them lose the benefit of fasting. And with women who are at an optimal weight, they can fast up to 16 hours. And still be in fat burn. So we noticed little findings like that, and it really it opens up this world of research that we can really tap into in the future. We've done some studies to date, some incredible studies. One I'll mention that was published recently on pre-diabetes. So we the research team had participants start a 12-week intervention program with Lumen. They were all pre-diabetic. And following the nutrition plan, so taking that morning measurement, following the macro recommendations for them. And after 12 weeks, and I want to quote it, I want to be accurate in my findings here. I have it here, the notes. I'm a scientist. So I'm like, I have to, I want to say exactly what they found. Okay, so with the 12-week intervention program, there was a significant reduction in the percentage of body fat by almost 3%. And we're talking just 12 weeks. And 3% body fat, that's a lot. That's a lot. Waist circumference, 6.23 centimeters. And a significant reduction was also observed in triglycerides and systolic blood pressure. Now, this is a group of pre-diabetic individuals, right? And they've seen those results after 12 weeks. That's extraordinary. And that just highlights what I mentioned earlier on about the importance of focusing on our metabolic health and all those health goals that we want to reach, like, being able to regulate our insulin. And in this case, in this study, being able to regulate our blood sugar levels and prevent diabetes from becoming a reality. And that's diabetes is awful. The way it impacts an individual and their family and the health system, these are diseases that are preventable. They're preventable. And this study highlights how important it is to, again, tap into that preventative medicine. Prevention is key. Another bit of data recently, I did a talk this week about the menstrual cycle and how you can cycle sync your workouts and your nutrition around your cycle using Lumen. So we found that women tap into fat burn much more easily during certain weeks in their cycle. So like, for example, week 2, a woman's body becomes more efficient at burning fat. But then during ovulation, we noticed some trends around women being more in carb burn. And it makes sense with the science, because during ovulation, our bodies are favoring carbs and preserving fat because we want to create, in theory, we want to create a successful pregnancy. So that our data actually makes sense to what is actually happening in the body. So we found these trends. And so the insights, if you're tracking your menstrual cycle with your Lumen, there is a feature there, you can get insights every week, every phase of your cycle around the nutrition, and a reminder, hey, this is the week that you might feel a little lethargic. You might see, cravings, for example. And it's nice. Again, it's keeping you accountable. It's helping you understand your body. Another way to understand what's happening, what's impacting your metabolism. So we've got a lot of trends, a lot of data. We've got an affiliation program, yes. For anyone interested in knowing a bit more about Lumen, I recommend going on the website. And also I'll link the website and the Facebook link in the chat for everyone. Should I do that?
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. Fantastic. All right. So we have fantastic. So those are in the chat for you guys. Perfect. All right. So we've got about 15 minutes and we've got about 11 questions. So let's do this. So, okay. Does every person need their own Lumen, or can you program it to measure specifically for each person in the family? Good question.
Yeah. So you can, so Lumen is subscription based. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can have one device and you can have more than one subscription linked to that device. But if you've only got one subscription, one device, then don't share your device, because that, like I mentioned, it's your device is going to understand your breath measurements, your CO2 range. But you can definitely, I've spoken to various luminers who, husband and wife, for example, they'll have two subscriptions and they'll be using their device together. So hopefully that answers that.
That's great. Yeah, that's perfect. Priscilla says, how often do you do the breath test?
Okay, so with the breath measurements, before I answer that, I'm just putting in the website and the Facebook link in the chat, by the way, for everyone. Okay, I've just done that now.
Perfect.
Okay. So with the breath measurements, the one that we recommend is the morning measurement. So there's just one. Because we understand that a lot of individuals have very busy lives. Okay, and if you're rushed off your feet, or you're traveling, or it's not feasible to do too many during the day, the morning one is going to be the one that's going to update your nutrition plan, provide you with a tailored macro recommendations based on your metabolic state that you're waking up in. Now, the other measurements are optional. So it really depends on what you need to stay on track, what you need to, for that self-validation, for staying accountable. For a lot of individuals, they'll take, for example, the before exercise measurements. If they're active that day, if they're about to do a workout at the gym, they'll take that measurement. It just takes, a minute or so to do a measurement, and, less than that. And so it's really depends on you as the individual and how you can fit that into your lifestyle. Again, it's the beauty of Lumen. You can personalize everything, even the number of measurements you want to take. So just one is recommended.
So cool. So cool. Several people, I'm like glancing through these questions. Several people are asking, what's the best way to incorporate this, like in practice, like for practitioners? Share.
So, that's also great. So we have quite a few that use the device or offer the device to their clients in their clinics. And they've seen amazing success with this. So they are actually able to see their clients who are using the Lumen device. They can access the data themselves and see how, if the client's food login, they'll see the food log, their metabolic flexibility score, their measurements they're taking. So a lot of practitioners have incorporated Lumen into their clinic to help their clients reach their goals around nutrition and just general health and wellness, to be honest. So it's, for a lot of practitioners, they're like, oh, I wish I'd known about this before. It's just really just transformed the way they work and the connection they have with their clients. Also, it's nothing restrictive about it. So a lot of people enjoy using their Lumen. They enjoy the food that's recommended, the recommendations around the macros. They enjoy the insights, the app, the way it looks. And also I want to also mention here is, it's not just a device. I think there's a lot of gadgets out there, and you buy it and then you're like, okay, what now? With the Lumen device, we pride ourselves having exceptional customer service, not just for between us and the practitioners that are using the devices for their clients, but also for our customers. You know, we've got a massive team of nutritionists that are incredible. I mean, they're really incredible. And you can access a nutritionist on your app. You literally go to the Today screen. There's a speech bubble in the corner. Tap that, and you can access a nutritionist.
So cool. This is like, everybody's just like, this is so cool. This is so amazing. I mean, my mind's really going to like group programs, memberships, like really using this, not even just for one-on-one, but like in our scalable programs that we're creating, our comprehensive programs that we're creating. I feel like it's really limitless, especially with the types of practitioners we are. It's like, we get to take this data and just like create so much more personalization and customization and get results that much quicker. Because not only are they using the information and feedback, biofeedback from the device itself, but as practitioners, we have all of this knowledge, wisdom, experience, all of the things to be like, amazing, that, and we get to take it to the next level, which is so freaking cool. Like I'm so excited about this. Fantastic. So do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, if there are any more questions, I know we've run out of time.
Yeah, we have about 10 more minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're okay with that. Are you out of time?
I'm out of time.
Oh no. Okay. So if people do have questions left over, where should they email or Facebook group or?
You know what? Yeah, if they can email.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you want to pop the email in?
Yes, let me do that. I can answer one more while I'm typing out my email.
Okay, so let me see. Oh, there's so many questions. I guess this might be a good one. How successful is the program in helping people already in type 2 become flexible?
Okay. So we don't recommend Lumen to diabetics.
Okay.
But pre-diabetics, yes. But we recommend, if there is a condition that the person has, to reach out to our nutritionist, and then they can, you know, go through their medical history. So we always recommend if you've got something that you're not entirely sure about, reach out, but also reach out to your health professional that you trust and just discuss, maybe going on and using Lumen to incorporate into your life. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Mia. Everybody's mind is like, I'm sure, blown by the possibilities and just the fact that this is even existing. So thank you so much for sharing and for introducing us all to this. I know I'm super excited. Have a great rest of your evening, Mia.
Thank you so much for having me. And please send the questions through to my email. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And this has been great. Thank you so much.
Yay, you are so welcome. Chat soon.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Michelle.
All right, that's a wrap for today. If you want the exact breakdown of how I help practitioners go from their first 5K to consistent 50K months with just 2 offers, 10 hours per week, and an audience of less than 500 people, be sure to click the link in the podcast description or head to wealthywoman.co/breakdown. To make sure you don't miss an episode, be sure to subscribe. And for daily online practice insights, follow me on Instagram at wealthywoman.co. Let's create your life of wealth, full of abundance, purpose, health, wealth, and joy.